Good afternoon, Professor. This is Francisco Grijalva giving an analysis of Section B of my assignment. Description of the policy. Americans with Disability Act. The Americans with Disability Act is a federal legislation passed in 1990 that prohibits discrimination against people with disability. The law made it illegal to discriminate against a disabled person in terms of employment opportunities, access to transportation, public accommodations, communication, and government activities. The law prohibits private employers, state and local government, employment agencies, labor unions from discriminating against disabled employees. Are required to make reasonable accommodations in order for a disabled person to perform their job functions. Sorry, that was a mouthful. How will it work? There are three titles. Title 1 prohibits discrimination based on disability in requiring hiring, promotion, training, paying, or other aspects of employment. Title 2 prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability against any qualified individual in all services, programs, and activities provided by the state and local government, transportation, and physical problematic access. Title 3 and 4, public accommodations. Private entities must make sure that any new construction or remodeled building are accessible to people with disabilities. Okay. Who is covered? A person who, and this is the legal definition of a person living with a disability, a person who has a physical or mental impairment that is substantially limited one or more major life activities. How will this be implemented? Well, the employment, the titles will be implemented mainly by the Department of Justice, and it will be enforced by the policies, or the policies will be enforced by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Department of Transportation, Federal Communication Commission, Department of Justice, Department of Education, Department of Health and Human Services, Agriculture and Transportation Barriers Compliancy Board, Office of Federal Contract Compliancy Programs, and Civil Rights Center. Okay. What are the short-term and long-term goals? Well, short-term goals are to allow people living with disability to have access to resources such as employment, transportation, and education. But long-term goals are to view individuals living with disabilities as individuals, not as people with disabilities, meaning stop looking at a person as their disability. Just look at the person as an individual, period. Where am I? What administration developed it? That was the Bill Clinton administration in 1990, or the act was signed in 1990. What administration developed it? Okay, but it was actually developed by the Bush administration in 1988. Just so you know. How is it evaluated and these standards? So the Department of Justice is how is it evaluated? Oh, okay. So the Department of Justice makes sure that these standards are up to date, and it's kind of rolls down from the top. So it's federal, state, and local, and then the standards for businesses and education and employment, and everyone that is monitored is enforced by those enforcements of the policies by those 10 agencies that I just said earlier. And then criteria or a measurement of the effects. So for an example of how we would measure if the ADA Act works is looking at the IDEA, which is a actual policy within the ADA, which is like an Individual with Disabilities Education Act, which allows for something like an IEP. An IEP is something where a team is assessing the individual's education plan every year, collecting data and measuring if the client's needs are being met on a yearly or actually on a sub-yearly basis. So that would be a measurement tool that could be used to check the effectiveness of the Americans with Disability Act. Okay, that is all I have today, Professor. Let me know if that was substantial, if you need me to expand further. This is a very big law that was put in place. So let me know. Thank you. Francisco Grijalva.